Hey guys, want to do a quick little video on your Lectric controller. Basically, anyone that doesn't know what your controller looks like, well, this is what your controller looks like in your Lectric right here. This is my brand new controller I got. Some quick facts about the controller. Battery voltage 48 volts. Cutoff voltage is 39 volts, 18 amp controller. And your display meter, it's an M5. So I imagine that number probably has something to do with your display on your bike. Now, any of you wondering, your controller on your Lectric is located right in this part of your frame, right down here. The controller, all the wire connectors you just saw on that one. You have to open your bike up. You have to remove the battery contact terminal plate with the 4 screws. They're small. Be careful of those. And then everything else will be packed inside. But basically, what I want to talk about in this video really quick is to help you be familiar with your controller. You have all these wires here, and I have these pulled to the side here for a reason. I'll explain that here in just a second. But all these wires connect up, obviously. This one here goes to your battery plate, the cover plate there that I was talking about. All these other wires, these are for, well, all the other things on your bike. You know, your headlights, a tail light if you have one, your throttle, your brake cutoff switches, your display, your pass sensor, and so forth. So if you have to do an inspection on your controller, yes, which will require you to have to open up that case I just told you about, these wires here really aren't going to have any issue with heat, but these 3 wires right here, these are the wires that are responsible for your actual motor plug. You know, that piece that sends that valuable voltage back to your motor so your bike runs. Something important to pay attention to if you are inspecting your controller, make sure all your connections are good and snug. It's not hard to check that. And on your motor wires, these 3 wires right here, you always want to make sure this plastic housing is covering the metal connections and make sure they are always very secure. And something else you want to check for if you're doing just routine maintenance on your controller is any integrity problems that could happen to the wires. These are pretty thin wires. I mean, not overly thin, but they're pretty thin. You know, if they're getting all kinked up and bent inside of there, which they will be when you put the controller back in, if they happen to get exposed to heat or something like that, you could have a compromise with the housing on the wire possibly melting. This I did find on my power wires on my bike. I don't have as good of protective cover pieces on mine stock as comes with this new controller here. So I wrapped mine with some electrical tape because I did find some areas of heat degradation on the housing of the wire and up here where the wires were actually stuck together from the heat. And that could cause a short. Could be part of what happened to my bike. And even though I separated mine, wrapped some additional electrical tape around these to help protect it, yes, everything seems to be operating okay, but it doesn't change the fact that I obviously need to change the controller to be safe. So other than that, guys, this is a look at your controller, what to expect if you're doing any maintenance on it, or if you get an error code. I believe error code 009 on your display will indicate one of these connections is loose. So at some point or another, you may have to open up and access your controller. So hope this video helps. A little bit of an overview, what to expect. It's not a very big unit, but it's a pretty tight space where everything is packed in there. Because when you're packing this thing back into your bike, it's going in like this. And all these wires are going to be bent and tucked in there pretty tight. So you can see what I'm talking about maybe just periodically checking your wire connections, guys. So other than that, hope you're keeping safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.